Consider having a pillow or blanket for beneath your knees. Bring your big toes together, separate your knees wide, and park your hips back over your heels. Now you'll notice I have my hands out in front. I'm going to press into my hands and really round my back dramatically to put my hips back onto my heels, nice and heavy. Big toes together, knees apart, hips back on the heels. So notice my head is nowhere near the ground. If I turn sideways and show you that in profile view, you'll see that my goal is to get my hips on my heels more so than it is to put my face on the floor. So big toes together, knees apart, hips stapled to the heels if you can get them there. And then find your breath and let your breath come in and out through your nose. Long, slow, deep breaths. Massage your spine. Massage along your spine with long, slow breaths. And walk both hands over to the right, off the side of your mat. Keeping your hips stapled onto your heels. Lean into your left side ribs. Breathe into your left side ribs. And walk both hands all the way over to the other side. Leaning into the right side ribs, breathing into the right side ribs. And once again, switch sides, going back to that first side. Leaning into your left side ribs. And then switching second side, second time. Breathing into the right side ribs. So as you emphasize the breath in your side ribs, you are stretching the latissimus dorsi, the serratus muscles, the muscles that help pull your shoulder blade onto your body. Those muscles underneath the shoulder blade, lying atop the side ribs. And then come back to neutral. I'm going to come all the way up onto hands and knees once again. Padding beneath your knees if you got it. Highly recommended. We're going to begin with an inhale, lift your head up, tail up for your cow. And exhale, press your breath out, pull your belly in for your cat. Inhaling for cow. And exhaling for cat, holding in your belly, tucking your tail, tucking your chin. Keep on breathing, keep on moving. Really try to emphasize that stretch between your shoulder blades. Beneath and between your shoulder blades into those side ribs. In fact, to get a little bit more spread into those muscles between the shoulder blades and underneath your ribs, shoulder blades on top of your ribs. We're going to come into a hare pose. So big toes together, knees apart. You put the top of your head on the floor between your knees. Roll along the line of your mohawk to the top of your head and breathe. Now, if setting up for a forward somersault is not appropriate for you, you can do the seated version, which looks like this, getting a stretch on the back of your neck. So either you are in hare pose, H-A-R-E, like a rabbit, with your head tucked between your knees, hips lifted high to the sky, or you're seated as I am with your fingertips on the back of your head, getting a stretch on the back of your neck. Everybody's trying to breathe into that space between the shoulder blades, breathe into the back ribs. And then slowly come up out of that one. We continue loosen up the back ribs, back shoulder blade area. Coming to hands and knees once again. Locate your right hand, and with an inhale, sweep your right arm open. And exhale, release. Same side, same arm. Inhale, sweep up, up, and away. Exhale, release. On third time's a charm. Big inhale, sweep up and open. And then as you exhale, pull in your side ribs, pull in your belly, shove that right arm underneath to come into a sideways somersault type of position. Shoving that bottom arm underneath, getting as much weight as you can onto that right shoulder blade. You can use your left hand as a kickstand. You can even press into that left hand to shove that bottom arm through a little bit further and get a more intense shoulder blade stretch. Notice I'm talking, which means you are breathing. Also notice my top shoulder is off my face. I encourage you to lift your shoulders away from your face so that you can breathe. And then from here, unwind. Push into that top hand, come back up to hands and knees. Let's switch sides. Locate your left arm, and with an inhale, sweep your left arm up and open. And then as you exhale, slide that arm underneath, shoulder blade coming to the ground. Back of your head, base of your skull coming onto the floor as well. Pushing into that top hand to get a little bit more rotation. Turn your chest around a little bit more. And breathe. Top shoulder off your face so that you can continue to take long, slow breaths. And then pushing into that top hand. Inhale, come all the way back up. Exhale for cat. Inhale for cow. And once again, exhale for cat. And inhale for cow. All right, we're going to continue this cat and cow, but we're going to also loosen up the shoulders a little bit more. So if you can't see me, go ahead, orient yourself so you can see the screen. Notice my hands are down flat, but I'm able to rotate my arms. I can show you my elbow pits, and I can show you the points of my elbows. Pits and points without moving my hands. You have that ability as well. So with your hands down flat, try to rotate your arms. Show me your elbow pits, show me your veins, and then show me the points of your elbows. Pits and points and pits and points and pits and points. And now we're going to do our pits and points and synchronize movement with breath, breath with movement in the following way. When you exhale for your cat, I want you to show me the points of your elbows. It looks like this. Exhaling for cat, show me the points of your elbows, and your shoulders will hike up around your ears. And then as you inhale for cow, show me the pits of your elbows, and your shoulders will pull back away from your ears. So exhale for cat, show me your points. Inhale for cow, show me your pits, elbow pits. And then keep on moving. Exhaling for cat. Inhaling for cow. And keep on working it out. I get a little bit more movement in the shoulders. Maybe pop up onto fingertips and get even more movement in the shoulders. All right, finish with your cow. Shoulders down, elbow pits turned forward, shoulders away from your ears. Nice long neck. Then come on down to our tummies. So padding can go underneath your hip bones. You go lie down on your tummy. Arms go out to the sides, up on fingertips. Fingertips in line with your shoulders, in line with your elbows. So you see this purple mat here? I have everything lined up along this purple line. I'm going to turn and look towards my left shoulder and drop that right shoulder down. Both elbows stay bent. Inhale up, turn to look over the right shoulder, drop the left shoulder down. Inhale to center. Bring my hands in a little narrower, like an inch, choke in an inch, and repeat. Try to get a little bit more shoulder chest rotation. You turn your head one way, then the other. Inhale to center. Maybe bring your hands in a little bit more narrow still. Continue to exhale, twist one way. Inhale to center, and exhale, twist the other way. So with each iteration, each repetition of this, maybe you can bring your hands in a little bit more narrow, give a little bit more chest and shoulder rotation, as well as a little bit more stretch across the front of each shoulder. Can you relax your butt? Can you relax your face? And then finally come to neutral. You're going to put your elbows underneath your shoulders. Elbows are narrow. Hitchhike your thumbs out wide. Draw your shoulder blades down away from your ears. Let your head tick-tock side to side. Pull one ear away. Pull the other ear away from your shoulders. Trying to lengthen the sides of your neck. One side at a time as you draw those shoulder blades down your back, as you hitchhike your thumbs wide and keep your elbows narrow. Maybe wiggle your jaw. Maybe even yawn. And then release. Arms go out wide. You're gonna bend your knees. There's no good place for your head for this one. You're gonna bend your knees and start letting your knees rock side to side. And then coming to neutral, straighten your right leg. Keep your left leg bent. Bend your left elbow. Your right arm's out to the side, palm down. Right leg is straight. Left knee is bent. Left elbow bent, left hand on the floor. Now you're going to shove off and roll over onto your right arm. I can move my pillow out of the way. Use that left hand to help push yourself over onto your right arm. This left leg can come across your body, so the lower body is twisting, upper body is twisting. And if your head's hanging in space and you need a pillow underneath your head, then you can put that pillow in place. Or a block will do. Support your head. And do your best to keep on breathing. And then unwind. Roll back onto your tummy. And let's set up to do the other side. Again, you might want that block nearby. Arms open out to a T. Palms are down. Left leg straight, left arm straight, right knee bent, right elbow bent. You're going to roll over onto your left side now. Swing, waggle that bent leg side to side, and you can use that and your right hand to shove off, roll over onto your left arm. Palm is flat to the ground. And again, if you need to put a pillow underneath your head, then please do so that you can breathe and your neck is comfortable. And then unwind, come back to neutral. All right, hands come beneath your shoulders, shoulders shrug away from your ears, exhale, find your tummy, and then press up and back into that child's pose. Child's pose, round 2. Padding beneath your knees if you need it. Big toes together, knees apart, hips are back over your heels. Fingers are spread wide. You're pressing into your hands, you're rounding your back dramatically and trying to breathe into that bra band. Your challenge, if you choose to accept it, is to pop open your bra without using your hands. So breathe into those back ribs, try to bust that bra band. Big breaths. And then crawl your hands up to your lap. Now, if you have a belt nearby, go ahead and grab that belt. You're going to find these back ribs, these back rib muscles and your side rib muscles. And your challenge is to get those back rib muscles and side rib muscles to wrap around to the front of your body. Almost like someone is tickling you in the front ribs and you're guarding against it. At the same time, you're broadening, you're flaring your back. So if you take this belt and put it around that bra band area, hold on to the ends of the belt, begin with an inhale. And then as you exhale, pull. I'm pulling on this belt. I'm really pressing my back ribs into the belt. I'm trying to round my chest, collapse my heart into my body. And I'm going to cross the belt in front, get a good strong grip on it, pull tight. The boobs are on the way, of course, and try to breathe into the back ribs, trying to break the belt with deep back breaths. You relax your shoulders away from your ears. Pull on that belt tight so you can actually feel your ribs breathing against the belt. Try to get your back ribs to breathe. And then release. So we want this broad, flat, breathable back rib area. Front ribs wrapped around to the front, tucking in those front ribs. You're going to come to hands and knees. Padding beneath your knees if you're using it. Hands and knees, toes curled under. Begin with an inhale. And then as you exhale, arch your back up into cat pose and hold the cat pose. And with your next inhale, breathe into those back ribs. Let them spread out even more. Exhale, pull your belly in tight. So you're staying in cat pose. And with your next inhale, breathe into those back ribs even more. Maybe pop up onto fingertips. Exhale, hold the pose. Inhale, breathe into those back ribs even more. Now you're on fingertips. Get your toes curled under, your knees tucked underneath you. One more time, breathing into those back ribs. And exhale, belly pulls in tight. Can you keep that fullness in your back ribs? Can you keep your belly pinned to your spine? And then hover your knees 1 inch off the mat. Just 1 inch. And then power your hips high to the sky. And as you straighten your legs towards the downward facing dog, your heels are still lifted, your knees are still unlocked. You're flipping your buns up towards the sky. Can you keep breath in your back ribs? So you'll begin to notice that with each and every inhale, those back ribs float up high towards the sky. And as you exhale, you engage your belly. Inhaling into those back ribs. Exhale, belly stay strong. You start to wrap the outer rim of your armpits around towards your face. So put a slight bend to your elbows and wrap the outer rim of your armpits around towards your face. Breathing into your back ribs. Keep a slight bend in your elbows. Narrow your elbows in towards one another. Start to hover your elbows 1 inch off the mat. Knees are bent, heels are lifted, perky butt. Breathing into your back ribs. And then bend your knees and put your elbows and knees down. Ooh. Bring your elbows in a little bit more narrow. Interlace your fingers, clasp your hands together. Exhale, breathe into those back ribs. So it's like an elbow cat pose. So knees are down, elbows are down, hands are clasped together. I've still got my toes curled under. Continue to breathe into those back ribs. Puffing up those back ribs with each and every breath. Exhale, pull your tummy in. And if you're feeling good about this, you want a little bit more intensity, your toes are curled under, you're going to lift your hips up into a dolphin pose. And in this dolphin pose, don't let your chest collapse. Keep breathing into those back ribs. Keep widening the space between the shoulder blades. Keep wrapping your armpits around towards your chest. Keep pulling your boobs in against your spine. Knees are bent, heels are lifted, perky butt. Dolphin pose. Pressing into your elbows. And then come on down. Ooh. Regular old child's pose. And then from regular old child's pose, you're going to come on up to hands and knees once again. Patting beneath your knees if you're using it. Inhale for your cow. Exhale for your cat. Elbow points turn forward, breathing against your back ribs, spreading your back ribs, taking the outer rim of your armpits, wrapping it around towards your chest, pulling your boobs in against your spine. Dramatic cat here. And then inhale, cow. Wrap those shoulder blades down your back, points of your shoulder blades tucking into your back waistband. Elbow pits turned forward, shoulders away from your ears. Long, elegant neck. Booty up. Exhale, cat pose. Maybe do it on fingertips. You get a little bit more rotation in those shoulders. And inhale, cow. Elbow pits turned forward. Good. And then from here, coming to neutral. In this neutral position, your heart is lifted away from the ground. Your belly is pulled away from the floor. The outer rim of your armpits is wrapped around towards your chest. Abs are engaged. Your back ribs are spread. Head is on neutral. You're going to curl the toes of your right foot under. Press back through your right heel. Press hard through that right heel. I just had a spider drop down in front of me. All right. Continue to contract. Pull that side rib in against your spine. And then take that right leg cross midline with it. Swing that right leg over to the left. Try to wrap the outer rim of your right armpit underneath your chest. Just dump the pocket change out of your right hip pocket. Press into that right heel. If you want a little bit more stretch, you can take your right hand forward, one hand print. And release. And let's do the same thing on the other side. Exhale, cat pose. Curl the toes of your left foot under, press back through your left heel. Take that left leg across midline. Maybe take your left hand forward, one hand print. Breathe into your left side ribs. And then come to neutral. And you guessed it, it is downward facing dog time. So from here, exhale, pull in your tummy. Tuck your toes under. Lift your hips up into your downward facing dog. Take your feet as wide apart as the mat. Let your hips swing wide from side to side. And as you do this, don't let your ribs fall out. Keep those front ribs pulled in. Try to breathe into your back ribs. Pedal your feet, sway your hips wide from side to side. All right, the moment you've all been waiting for, let's put it all together. So from here in your downward facing dog, you're gonna rise up onto tippy toes. Exhale, pull your tummy in. Continue to shift forward. Inhale, come to the top of your push-up pose. Wrapping those back ribs around to the front, breathing into that space between the shoulder blades. Your back is broad, flat. And back into your downward facing dog. you got the top half of your plank pose working pretty good. Let's do this again. Inhale, rise to tippy toes. Exhale, pull your belly against your spine. Continue to shift forward, breathing into those back ribs as you continue to inhale now all the way to the very top of your push-up. And then lower your knees. Keep the upper half working. Shift your chest forward a little bit more. Ideally, your nipples are dangling right over your thumbs. Elbows are going to hug your ribs as you chaturanga, lower down. Elbows scraping your ribs. Ideally, when you come down, your shoulders are off the mat. Shoulders come up onto your back to make sure those shoulders are high up off the mat. Good. Take your arms out wide again. We did this earlier. Again, your hands are in line with your shoulders. You drop one shoulder down. You drop the other shoulder down. This feeling that you get when you drop one shoulder down, twist, and then drop the other shoulder down, twist, that feeling you get across the top of your shoulders, you do not want that sensation. That sensation of that shoulder twist across the front of your shoulders when you're doing your chaturanga, because that means your shoulder has slouched forward. That's bad technique. That will screw up your shoulders, bring all that weight on your shoulders in that position. So I'm going to come back up into a downward facing dog. Try to find support and stability and strength in your back ribs to prevent those shoulders from slouching forward. So from downward facing dog, please. Let your arms plug deep into the shoulder joint. Put a slight bend in your elbows. Wrap your armpits around towards your chest. Even flare your fingers out to the sides to narrow your elbows. Elbows are unlocked. Fingers flare out to the sides. Elbows hug in. Narrow. There's a slight bend in my elbows. Breathe. Rise up onto tippy toes. Exhale. Pull your tummy in. Breathe into your back ribs, wide across your back ribs. Continue to shift your chest forward. Put a bend in your elbows, feel bend in your knees. Elbows are still unlocked. Continue to shift your chest forward. Elbows scrape your ribs as you control the descent. Elbows scraping your ribs. Ideally, your shoulders are off the down as you come on down. If anything, you feel the triceps on the backs of your arms working. You do not feel a stretch in the front of your shoulders. It's not a shoulder stretch, it's a tricep working pose. Shoulders up, back, and down. Abs are strong. As you back up into your child's pose. Then walk your hands up onto your lap and go ahead, roll out your wrists. And roll out your wrists. If you're ticklish, you're going to be pretty good at this because it's all those tickle muscles engaged. It's guarding against being tickled. All right, we're going to do one more of those. This is just the top half of the pose. We're doing it with the knees on the ground. This is just the top half of the chaturanga. Shoulders back and down, chest lifted. We're going to turn this into a hands and knees pose. And then from hands and knees, exhale, pull your tummy in. Come up into your down dog. From down dog, put a slight bend in your elbows. Wrap your armpits around towards your chest like you're getting tickled in the armpits, like you're getting tickled in the front ribs. Elbows wrap around in towards midline. Fingers flare out to the sides. Gonna rise up onto tippy toes. Exhale, pull your tummy in. There's like a wave-like ripple that moves through your spine. As you exhale, pull your tummy in. Ride the wave as you continue to shift forward. Breathe into your back ribs. Continue to shift forward. Put your knees down. Keep your belly strong. Elbows scrape your ribs as you chaturanga, lower down. Shoulders staying off the floor. When you hit the deck, ideally your thumbs are underneath your nipples because you shifted your chest forward that far. And then you get to relax. Good. Elbows come beneath your shoulders. Elbows underneath your shoulders. Once again, elbows beneath your shoulders, thumbs hitchhike out to the side, shoulders shrug away from your ears. You can tick-tock your head side to side, have a nice long neck. Relax your jaw, relax your face. You need to tick-tock your head side to side, pull your elbows wide, draw your shoulder blades down your back. Just to give yourself a little neck release here, just in case you're tensing up on the shoulders. It took me years to get my chaturangas working correctly. It's not an overnight thing. Again, that was just the top half of the pose. I didn't even cover the bottom half. All right, you're gonna release. Hands come beneath your shoulders, abs pull in once again. Shoulders shrug up onto your back as you walk it back into your child's pose. Coming into your child's pose. All right, from child's pose, you're going to go walk your hands up onto your lap. Swing both legs over to the left. I'm going to do a little mermaid twist. You're going to stagger your legs. Right foot in front of the left knee, left big toe pointed behind you. And spread your butt out. Sit up nice and tall. Shoulders are up, back, and down. Locate your right hand. Shoulder shrug, itch your ear, hitchhike that right shoulder back and down. Bring that right hand behind you. Left arm comes up. And as you exhale, like you're getting tickled, like you're giggling, like you're coughing, contract hard against getting tickled. Again with an inhale. And then as you exhale, bring that arm diagonal across. Inhale, sit tall. Exhale, twist. And then unwind. Now let's flip it to the other side. Left foot near the right knee, right big toe pointed behind you. Left shoulder hitchhike, shoulder shrug up, back, and down. Left hand can be on the floor or on a block. The right arm comes up. And exhale, bring that arm across. Twist. And then unwind. You got two blocks, two matching blocks. You're going to sit on two matching blocks, one for each butt cheek. Get up on those blocks. Spread your hips out nice and wide. And come into a simple cross-legged sit, one shin in front of the other. Kind of butt walk to the very front edge of your bricks. Bring up nice. Shoulders up, back, and down. Spread your fingers wide as you inhale, sit tall. And then as you exhale, like you're getting tickled in the front ribs, I'm not going to say slap your arms down, but swing your arms down like you're getting tickled. Guard against that intrusion. And as you exhale, twist to the right. So left arm comes across your waist. Right hand behind your back. Twisting to look over your right shoulder. Inhale up. And exhale, twist. And inhale up. Now we're going to add that into a weaving in and out, up and down, forward fold twisty thing. You might want to watch a couple rounds of this. The right and left can be a little bit confusing. But I think the front view is the most informative view of this. So in a moment, I'm going to stop trying to do the right and left thing. I start with an arm. I'm going to take that arm across. I'm going to look behind you. So just watch. The back arm comes up and dives forward, finds the other knee. Now, whatever arm's underneath, that arm comes up, sweeps back, overhead, dives forward, finds the opposite knee. So join me here. So this would be your left arm. Left arm comes up, diagonal across, lean into that left shoulder, leaning forward. Take the back arm, that would be your right arm, up and over, leaning forward, diving forward. Right hand finds the opposite knee. The arm on the bottom sweeps back, overhead as you dive forward to find the opposite knee. The bottom arm unwinds, sweeps back, overhead as you dive forward, diagonal across. to the opposite knee, and continue to weave and unweave, twisting. I like to inhale that arm up and over, throw it forward. Exhale as I round. Inhale as I begin to sweep, throw that arm up and over. Exhale, dive. Keep going. And finish up whatever you're doing. Slowly press yourself up to sit. Oh, palms forward, great big shoulder shrug. Inhale up. Exhale back, head down. And from here, you're going to take your legs wide. You might still be sitting on blocks, or you might move down to the ground, whatever works best for you. Legs go wide. I think I'm just going to still sit on this pillow just so you can see some contrast. A little easier to see my legs if you see me sitting on a light colored surface. Legs are wide. Everything else is wide for that matter as well. And if you have blocks, an extra set of blocks, those can be out in front of you. Feet flex flat, shoulders up, back, and down. You're gonna breathe into your side ribs. Exhale, pull your tummy in and begin to lean forward, pushing those blocks out in front of you as far as they'll go. Each and every inhale is a chance to breathe into that bra band. Each and every exhale is a chance to pull your tummy in and crawl your hands a little bit further forward. Breathing into that bra band, maybe you lift up a little bit, and as you exhale, you lengthen out a little bit further. Continually crawling those bricks forward until your arms won't go any further, until those bricks won't go any further, and then you can tip the leading edge of the bricks away. Keep on breathing. Keep your legs active, feet flexed, engaging like you're trying to squeeze your legs closed. And then to come out of this, breathe into your back ribs, press into your hands, crawl yourself up to sit. Shoulders are up, back, and down, palms turn forward. As you inhale, take your arms up and overhead. You're going to exhale, pull your tummy in, twist to the right. So left hand is between your legs, right hand's behind. Inhale, sit tall. You're going to address that right leg. Sit tall. And as you exhale, hinge over your right leg. One hand on either side of the leg, crawling forward. You can even get in there with your right hand, lift your belly up on top of that thigh as you bow over the straight leg. I dare you to keep breathing into those back ribs. Maybe coming up a little bit on an inhale, and then as you exhale, lengthen out. So you kind of pulse with your breath. There's almost a wave-like motion through your spine. That same sort of wave-like motion in your spine that you kind of want to cultivate on that transition from your down dog to your plank pose. Same idea here. Riding the wave of your breath. And then with your next inhale, breathe into your back ribs, press your hands into the floor, crawl your way up to sit. Drop your shoulders down, palms are forward. Inhale, both arms up. And exhale, twist to the other side. Inhale, sit tall. And exhale, come out over that left leg. You might even get there with your left hand, lift your belly up on top of that thigh. You have one hand on either side of that left leg as you bow forward. Breathing into your back ribs. And finally, with an inhale, breathe into those back ribs, press your hands into the ground, crawl your way up to sit. Shoulders are up, back and down. All right, you're gonna bend your left knee in. Left heel comes in towards the groin. Foot may or may not touch the opposite leg. Toes are pointed. Shoulders are up, back and down. You're sitting towards the front edge of your sit bones. And your right foot is flexed. Toes pointing up. Shoulders up, back and down. Right hand in your lap. Inhale, shoot your left arm high to the sky. And as you exhale, tip over. Bottom elbow works onto the inside of the bottom thigh. If you have a heavy head, you can hold on to your head with one hand or the other. Whatever works for you. And breathe. Let your head hang. Release the top arm, sweep the top arm out in front of you like you're wiping a table. Palm is flat to the ground. Smack that imaginary table. Shrug the top shoulder onto your back. Continue to wipe that table all the way off the side of your hip. Head is hanging. In fact, you can nod your head, tuck and untuck your chin with your head hanging as you reach through your left fingertips. Open up the side of your neck. Maybe wiggle your jaw. Head yawn. Let your head hang at neutral. Continue to reach down through your left hand until your fingertips touch the ground. Let your head tick-tock back to center. And then let's switch sides. So you're going to rearrange your legs. Bend your right leg in. Kick your left leg out. Flex your left foot flat. Shoulders back and down, chest lifted. Left hand in your lap. Right arm reaches high to the sky. Big inhale, stretch up. And exhale, tip over. Bottom elbow comes to the inside of your thigh. Turning your chest open, flipping that top breast onto your back. And you can support your head with one hand or the other, whatever works for you. I'm going to leave you there long enough so that you can take 2 or 3 or 4 breaths. After the 3rd or 4th breath, your muscles kind of start to release, your bones settle in. And then you might be able to drop your head. Take that top hand, wipe a table, palm flat to the ground. Shrug that top shoulder onto your back. Smack the table, drag it towards you. Continue to wipe the table off the side of your hip. With your head hanging heavy, you can nod your head. Tuck and untuck your chin. Reaching through your right fingertips. And then head comes to neutral, head is still hanging. As you reach through those right fingertips, slowly come on up to sit. Tick-tock your head back to center. Maybe wiggle your jaw. Good, yawn. All right. From here, you're going to flip over into a pigeon pose. Now, if pigeon pose doesn't work for you, I'll give you an option. And one way to transition to this pigeon pose, this being your left leg, this is your right leg, is to roll this left hip up and over as you pivot into a pigeon pose. Notice my heel near my pubic bone. My toes are still pointed. This is a narrow pigeon. Your right buttock might be floating off the ground, and you might tuck a pillow or a couch cushion in there to support it. You can turn and give you the rear view of this one. So if that's your right leg in front, your left leg behind, you've wedged some stuff underneath that right butt cheek. Your right heel's near your right pubic bone, Your left toes are curled under. You're going to press back through that left heel, lift the left knee off the ground, and knee toe, work that back leg in narrow. And then when you set the back knee down, feel the outer kneecap touch down first. So you're dumping pocket change out of that left hip pocket. You're going to lengthen your chest and drape yourself out over that front thigh. So this variation of pigeon pose is a deeper lower back stretch. Not so much an outer hip and butt stretch, it's a deeper lower back stretch. And then to come out of this, you're going to transition into a downward facing dog. Hands come beneath your shoulders. You're going to exhale, pull your tummy in. Inhale, breathe into those back ribs. Back toes curled under. Once again, exhale, pulling your tummy. Inhale, breathe into your back ribs as you lift your hips up. And then slide that left leg forward. And come on down for pigeon pose on the other side. So again, tuck something underneath that left butt cheek. Right leg extended back behind you, curl the toes under, knee toe, work that back leg in, narrow towards midline. Try to set the pinky toe side of the kneecap down. Dump the pocket change out of your right hip pocket. And bow forward over the front leg. Again, this is the narrow pigeon. This is the one with the heel at the pubic bone. Try to find breath in those back ribs. And then one final time. Do it for the children. It's downward facing dog time. Try to breathe into your back ribs. Exhale, pull your belly in. Breathe into your back ribs. Keep your belly strong as you step back into your downward facing dog. A nice long full body stretch. Maybe sway from side to side, pedal your feet out. And then you get to walk your feet all the way up to your hands and get ready for nap time. You might have that pillow available for your head. You might have your blocks and your belts and your toys nearby. I'm gonna lie down for Shapasana. A pillow underneath your head if you're using it. Knees bent, feet flat. Let your feet go as wide apart as the yoga mat. And let your knees tick-tock side to side like windshield wipers. All the way from one side, all the way to the other. And then coming to neutral. Heel toe wiggle your feet narrow. I'm going to bring one knee at a time, both knees into your chest. As you ease your knees in towards your chest, try to breathe into your back ribs. Walk your hips away from your shoulders. Spread out even more of your body across the ground. And then coming to neutral, giving those knees a good strong hug. Maybe wrap your hands around, interlace your fingers. Breathe into your back ribs. Curling up into a tight little ball. And then slowly uncurl, stretch out. Kind of like a seed shooting out roots, shooting out stems, spread out. Take up space. Settle into the earth. If lying down flat is not comfortable for you, you can modify tucking stuff underneath your knees, putting stuff underneath your head, tying your legs together. Make this a comfortable Shavasana position for you, whatever variation you desire, so that you can really settle into the earth. Like a seed, sending out roots. Spread your fingers, spread your toes. Let there be air space all the way up between your legs, air space all the way into your armpits, air space on the sides of your neck. Wiggle your jaw, stretch your face, maybe even yawn. Find air space between your ears as you empty your mind. Quiet your thoughts. Smooth out your breath. Yield to the support of the earth, melt into it, grow into it, settle into it.
Nope, turn that on. Turn it off.
Please begin to wiggle your fingers and toes. Wiggle your jaw, wiggle your nose. Slowly begin to make your way over onto your right side. From there, press yourself up to sit. We will finish with hands together at the heart. Namaste, everybody.